how's it going? So it's a balmy 36 degrees and I am in Provence in the south of France, and you find me walking beside probably one of the most significant basilicas in this part of Provence. This is Saint-Marie-Magdalene Basilica. It's basically a basilica devoted to Mary Magdalene. Now some suggest Mary Magdalene was just a devout follower of Jesus Christ, and some suggest that obviously big significance from Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code that Mary Magdalene is depicted in the Leonardo da Vinci Last Supper picture where she's leaning away from Jesus in a sort of shy, coy, she is the significant other of Jesus. Now, back in the day, people didn't really like to talk about one's relationships, and it would be very strange that a man of that status, and he did have status despite being the Son of God and despite being the holiest of the holy, wouldn't it be strange that he didn't have a relationship with a woman? What? Hang on, I'm getting calls here. Oh, no. Was that you, God? Wouldn't it be strange that he didn't have a relationship? He would have lived his 33 years without losing his virginity. I'm pretty sure that he was a man just like any other man, and he was a man that probably had physical relationships. And given the fact that he had such a devotion to his Father, to himself, to God, because he was the Son of God and God is the Father, he would have probably had a relationship. And I'd like to think, even though it's not really depicted in any of the texts, not even the Gnostic texts, is it depicted of them having a relationship, but it is suggested that she was a devout follower, and it is suggested that Jesus, in some of the ancient texts, Mary Magdalene was his significant other. How significant? Well, the jury is out, and I don't think we will ever know. Is Rome hiding these secrets? Are the Papal Knights hiding their secret? Was it the Knights Templar, who you'll find all over Europe? Were they hiding the secret of Jesus's relationship? Does Jesus have a bloodline? Well, it's suggested that Mary Magdalene, even though this is a 12th century basilica, the remains are basically enshrined here. So it's a pretty significant basilica, and this is a basilica that many go on a pilgrimage to follow. So here I am, I'm going to take you into this beautiful basilica. My only fear is I'm slightly inappropriately dressed. I hope this isn't going to be an issue. Sometimes it is, so maybe the video is going to end here. What I will be doing is taking my hat off. Always take your hat off inside a church, and we're going to go inside and we'll learn a little bit about this basilica.
Well, welcome to the Basilica of St. Mary Magdalene in the beautiful provincial town of Saint-Maximin-la-Sainte-Baume. Now, this Gothic marvel, with its unfinished yet commanding facade, has stood here since the 13th century, quietly inviting pilgrims and travellers alike. It's not just the basilica's impressive scale that draws you in, it's the incredible story it holds within its walls. Step inside and you'll find history, faith, and a touch of mystery all waiting to be uncovered. Now, as we walk through the heavy wooden doors, you're greeted by a space that feels timeless. They started to build this basilica in 1295 under the orders of Charles II of Anjou, and it is the largest Gothic structure in all of Provence. Its soaring vaulted ceilings create a sense of awe, while intricate stone carvings and stained glass windows bathe the interior in a kaleidoscope of light. You'll notice the choir stalls, they're carved in the 17th century, lining the main apse. Each one is a masterpiece of craftsmanship depicting some beautiful biblical stories with painstaking detail. The marble-high altar, gleaming under the sunlight streaming through the windows, is a focal point for worship and reflection. Surrounding the nave are the 16 chapels, each dedicated to different saints and offering quiet spaces for prayer. But let's go deeper, both literally and figuratively. Beneath the Grand Basilica lies its beating heart, the Crypt. This is where you'll find what many believe to be the relics of Mary Magdalene herself. The centerpiece is a skull housed and displayed for veneration. Alongside it, there's a marble vessel said to be the jar of ointment she used to anoint Jesus. For centuries, pilgrims have descended into the crypt to connect with her legacy. Whether you're a believer or simply curious, there's something undeniably profound about standing here. Now, I know I touched on her earlier, but I think it's important to understand truly who Mary Magdalene was. In the Gospels, she is one of Jesus' closest followers, a witness to the crucifixion, and the first to see the resurrected Christ. But her story really has taken on a life of its own over the centuries. Medieval interpretations cast her as a repentant sinner, an image that persists today, More modern interpretations, fueled by texts like the Gospel of Philip, suggest she was much more than just a follower. Was she Jesus' wife? Could she have carried his bloodline? These are the questions that have fascinated theologians, historians, and let's be honest, conspiracy theorists just like me. This, in my opinion, is where the Basilica becomes even more intriguing. Some believe Mary Magdalene carried the Holy Grail, not a cup, but a bloodline. According to the theory, she and Jesus were married and had children, creating a lineage that has survived to this day. Now, while this idea gained pop culture fame through Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, it actually draws from much older legends and Gnostic texts. Whether or not you believe it, standing here in this basilica, it's easy to feel the weight of her story and the mystery that surrounds it. One of the first things you'll notice about the basilica is the west front. It's incomplete. Construction began in 1295, but due to wars and political challenges, the facade was never finished. Yet this adds to the basilica's charm. It feels raw, authentic, and a bit mythical, like the story of Mary Magdalene herself. Now, just a short distance from here is Sainte-Baume Grotto, where Mary Magdalene is said to have spent her final years in solitude. Legend has it that angels would lift her in prayer each day. Pilgrims often combine visits to both the grotto and the basilica, tracing her steps and reflecting on her legacy. Today, the basilica remains a magnet for pilgrims from around the world. Some come seeking spiritual connection, others come for the history, and many simply come for the wonder of it all. Inside you'll find a steady flow of visitors lighting candles, saying prayers, or quietly marvelling at the artistry of this Gothic treasure. The wonder of Mary Magdalene and the Basilica, in my mind, this shows this place is more than just a church. It's a time capsule, a place where faith, legend, and history collide. The Basilica of St. Mary Magdalene invites us to ponder the mysteries of the past while standing in a space that inspired devotion for centuries. And whether you believe the relics are genuine or simply symbolic, there's no denying the power of this place. So if you find yourself in Provence, make the journey, walk through these ancient doors, step into the crypt, and let the story of Mary Magdalene leave its mark on you.
Well, what a phenomenal basilica. I have to say, I feel very privileged to have been in there, and I feel very privileged to have been in there without any problems in terms of the shirt. Well, as you can see from the video, what an amazing basilica. It doesn't look as impressive from the outside as it does from the inside. What a magical place. They're just gearing up for a wedding, so I had to leave, cut the filming short because the wedding is about to begin and they want people to scurry on out. But what a magical place to get married, a place to say your vows and a place to devote your life to the other half. Well, fantastic. If you like this content and you'd like to see more of this content, check out my churches playlist. There's quite a few churches and basilicas and cathedrals I have covered, so check out that playlist. Or if you'd like something completely different, my channel is focused on travel, politics, and even techno. But some of you are here for different reasons, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until next time, keep progressing and much love.